Hello everyone, a little bit more Yahaha content in between, or Yahaha, not sure how it's pronounced. I'm building something in my test space, and from the video you could already tell I'm building a tank. I had the idea to build like a mini boss or something, so there's currently no way to win against this thing. So this is more like a test run of, can I give it boss mechanics like flying projectiles you have to dodge, and like something like a stomper or something that you have to be wary of, so you don't step in front of it or it crushes you. And this is basically just a test run of if this is possible. And the first part is just setting up the tank with the shape. I mean, this is just an approximate shape of what it could look like, and we'll also encounter in this video the problem that when you parent, or when stuff is parented in Yahaha, that other items in it gets distorted. So if the turret moves, it has. So right now I'm setting up the movement for the tank base, and the turret has a rotation, and if the turret rotates, it distorts. It moves here and there, or not it moves, but it changes its shape. And you will see that in the playtests quite well. Right now I'm setting up the base mode of the tank, so it goes in a circle. You've seen this in the solar punk level. If you've seen that quite often, I've set a few things up to just move in circles, like the blimp and the train, for example, and I think that's it. Yeah, but this is just a really this was just a really simple test. So this is what the tank moves like, and we're testing this basically just now, or first I'm testing this, and as you can see, this works quite well. The turret moves, and you can see that the turret is distorting for some reason. Yeah, it was a bit big. I wanted it to be roughly the height of the player in the end. And yeah, works very well. So now we're going to set up the hammer. First I'm going to slow it down a bit so it isn't too fast, so the player can actually catch up to it. And I think one of the ways to defeat this would be like a button that you have to touch that's somewhere on it, or maybe on the turret itself, on the top, and if you move it, if you touch it, the whole tank moves underground. So basically you won this when the player moves, touches the button, and then a door opens in the level and you can move on. So basically you have to defeat this tank by jumping on its head before you can advance in the level, if I ever use this in a level, but this would probably make quite an interesting level. Yeah, I'm setting up the hammer part now, so if you step in front of it, you get hammered, bonked on the head. Using the retroaction component here, which basically just says dead when you hit it, and I gave the cylinder a like an arc rotation, so it arcs down, it arcs back up. And what I'm playing with right now is the trigger box. So basically, when the player or when something enters the trigger box, this thing moves, which is a bit complicated because the projectiles later on will also move through that space. So sometimes this will just hit at random when the player is not underneath it, and yeah, this is something I will probably have to play around with. yeah, I forgot to put this on the tank base, and you can see that the whole hammer thing gets destroyed as soon as you put it under the tank. So I have to resize this a bit and refit the whole thing. Yeah. So at least we know the retroaction depth component works, and now it's all a matter of setting this up correctly so that it actually gives me the option to dodge. I think one of the ways to I have to try this, but one of the ways to dodge the distortion is to first set up all the parenting, and then then make the distortions on the object. But I have to try if that works. This will probably be my next video in the next few days to see if that works out. Yeah, this is a bit fast, so I have to actually slow down the rotation of the cylinder, and instead of 1 second, it's now 3 seconds, which give the player a reasonable chance to dodge if they are not running into this directly afterwards. But as you can see, this works okay-ish, even with the distortion and all. So lastly, we set up some projectiles. I picked out a sword from the asset store, and the sword didn't load. So I looked into a few other options, but ultimately decided I want to go with the one I have. And I made this work by using the view and scene option, and this actually put the sword in the scene, so I can set it up here. Yeah, it gets a rotate, so it basically rotates around itself just because it looks cool, I think. Yeah. It gets a move, so it moves basically in the direction the turret is facing. And yeah, I made it a bit fast here. And also the one-way infinite time thing is really interesting because it basically just despawns at the end and then respawns at the start. So you can see it fly. It's a bit fast, and I wasn't able to actually run into it and get killed because yeah, it just didn't work. I just couldn't, which is kind of a good thing because you actually don't want to get killed by the sword. Yeah, I couldn't increase the rotation speed, but I decreased the travel speed a bit, so it's just half the speed from before. I still didn't manage to get hit by one of the swords. At least I think I didn't. So at this point I decided to set up a collider and a trigger box, which basically meant I first I had to take the sword out so I could actually see what I'm working on. And yeah, so basically I gave the sword an additional I don't know if it already has a trigger box and a collision box. I wasn't sure if I got hit, so I decided I'm going to just give it an additional. I mean, it's not like this is a problem. Now it has 2 trigger and hit boxes, or it has 1. I don't know. I had at least 1, which is what I was going for. And yeah. Also, I wanted to have more projectiles, so basically just decided to copy paste the sword a few times and delayed the starting a bit so that the that this goes. And we're testing. So this is what it looks like right now. You can see the distortion of the tank quite good, and I actually managed to get killed by a sword in this case. So thanks for watching. I hope this gives you some idea of what you can do in Yahaha and maybe an interpretation or maybe an idea for a cool level. Thanks for watching and see you guys around.